Hey everybody, welcome back to another vendor update here on All Things MSP. We use these vendor updates for primarily two reasons. The first one is to introduce the All Things MSP audience to vendors in the space that you might not have heard from before, and that's the case today. Now, the second opportunity that we use these for is for bringing back vendors that you may not have heard from in a while, and they have some updates, things that they want to talk about. So if you're a vendor in the space and you're interested in doing one of these vendor updates, please go ahead and reach out to me, Eric at allthingsmsp.com, and we'll go ahead and get you scheduled. Now, today's episode, we have a vendor that we have not introduced to the All Things MSP audience before, and that is Chronom.ai. And from what I've seen in the background information that I've looked at, is basically a cloud asset management take. Like it's an asset management take on the cloud systems that you're using for your clients. And then beyond that, they use that asset information to then bubble up new opportunities for your MSP. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring up Benny Rosner from Chronom.ai. Hey, Benny.
Hey, Eric.
How are you today?
Amazing. How are you?
Great. So Benny, because this is your first time being on All Things MSP, do a little introduction of yourself and what Chronom.ai is in your words.
Sure. So first of all, Chronom is a platform that we've built for MSPs. And basically our goal is to take their cloud asset management and all of the things that are quite familiar with already and turn them into a real growth engine for the business. And so basically we're taking the environment data and everything that you're used to seeing, like technical insights, FinOps recommendations, security vulnerabilities, and really helping generate sales opportunities or growth opportunities from them. And our goal is to help MSPs win at two stages of the way. So we want to help them save as much time as possible when identifying those opportunities and really reduce all of the manual labor behind them. And the second one is really help track not only the technical stuff that they're already tracking, but also bring this new dimension of business into cloud observability and really boosting monetization as much as possible along the way.
Okay. Now, what inspired you to create this platform?
So to be honest, we didn't start in the MSP space. We started with enterprises, and our goal was to create this holistic view of environment that really showcased the connection between FinOps and security and all of those other dimensions that come when you manage complex cloud environments. And MSPs were always there along the way. So we started looking at them as resellers at the beginning, but with time we just had this thought that maybe it's time to look at them as something more. And once we've done that, we've managed to unlock this whole new layer of value. And basically, we've got great feedbacks from everyone we ran to. So we've said, there's something here. We've very quickly pivoted into this space. And we've been doing it for a few months now, strictly selling to MSPs. And we're very happy with the results, to be honest.
Well, and that answers my second question about why you decided to target MSPs. And I think that's not an uncommon story where people don't think about MSPs very much, but because of the unique situation that they're in, serving the small businesses that they do, there's a lot more opportunity there than other people think.
Exactly. And not only the opportunity, but we saw that they really have a lot of value to get from such a system, because a lot of times we see MSPs using repurposed software from enterprises that really doesn't solve the problem or create a lot of manual labor that's connected to identifying opportunities, identifying problems, or even just a periodic review becomes a few hours of work. And so we've said we have to do something about it.
Now, speaking of work, I imagine one of the places that this can immediately solve a problem for an MSP is in the onboarding process and doing discovery of a new client's cloud infrastructure. How does that work with Chronom?
Yeah, so it's a feedback that we got from our customers, but also one of Sagi's, our CTO, biggest dreams was to eliminate this process, where basically he has been used to doing 2-3 week environment reviews, and we've managed to get it down into seconds, so minutes to be precise. But basically, we integrate into a customer's environment. It's only installing this read-only role, and from there, in a matter of minutes, you get a complete scan, visualization of the environment, a graph that not only shows you inventory, but the relationships and connection between resources, and really eliminates a lot of the guesswork along the way.
So, what kind of information are they going to get back in that discovery?
So the most basic layer of information there is the inventory and the way the environment works. So we want to get you, like, in a matter of a glance, just to understand what's in the environment, what's going on, what are the trends. And on top of that, we've basically built an unified alert center. So it combines all of your security, FinOps, configuration insights, well-architected reviews. Everything sits there in a single hub, so you just get in, see what's going on, and you can go ahead straight to the customer, tell him, I found those issues, let's work on fixing them.
Now, does this work by entering like credentials for the different cloud services into Chronom, or does it use an agent on the machines to find out what cloud services those machines are consuming?
So it's completely agentless, non-intrusive. The only thing we require is like the access itself. Besides that, we take care of everything. No configuration is required.
Okay, that sounds good because I know agentless is usually the preferred method for most MSPs to be able to accomplish things. Now, you talk about turning that cloud inventory or those cloud assets into a growth engine for MSPs. What does that look like?
Yeah, so I think that the most basic examples there are, first of all, the reselling catalog, which one of the things that we do during the onboarding of an MSP is ask, what products do you like reselling, or what works for you? And so basically we take those cases, and for example, if it's a FinOps product for Kubernetes, we ask you what customers like it, what are the types, what works for you, what do you like selling. We also compare it with our different partners. And basically, we can create a policy that runs over all of your customers and checks if any one of them is in need of that product but doesn't have it yet, or maybe they have a competitor. And so, especially if you're looking at larger catalogs or larger MSPs, not all of your team knows all of the products or all of the customers or all of the trends, and so you get this almost like complete source of that tells you exactly what can help the customer. And I think the second example is with cloud vendor benefits. So there's a lot of programs out there by AWS, by Azure, that track different events, for example, growth events, new resources that are being created, and all of those processes that go internally with the end customer, which the MSP does not always a part of. And so we help you understand what goes on there, identify the trends before they become the real deal, and help you get yourself into this conversation with the cloud vendor, with the customer, really integrate yourself into the into the process, and also help the customer get credits, help you get financing for the DevOps work. So there's a lot that happens in these processes where, but you have to be a part of them to know. So that's the critical issue here.
So basically, if I take this back to, kind of the opportunity, you are looking at what different customers are using. And if you have a bunch of customers using A, B, and C, but not D, but they look like other customers who are using D, then you recommend that this may be something that those clients that are only using A, B, and C might be able to leverage. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
it's part of it. Yeah, we can also recommend on some occasion changing between services. And for example, one of our partners requested a policy that helps them determine with AWS when a customer should use Aurora or the serverless version. So it's those types of questions that we can answer or help answer, and especially when you count in the scale, it becomes super relevant because it really takes it from knowledge to wisdom. So if the MSP finds something on one of their customers and really wants to spread it around, or we found something on our level, which is even higher, then we can help them make the most out of this opportunity and make sure that it's leveraged.
Now, it sounds like this also works really best in the AWS, Azure type environments,
Yeah.
in those cloud infrastructure environments. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we currently support AWS, Azure, and Kubernetes clusters that are on top of them.
Okay. So this is really an infrastructure type of tool.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it safe to say then that the MSPs that this would apply most to are those MSPs who are actually managing cloud infrastructure, not necessarily the cloud services that we would talk about like 365 or Google Workspace?
Yeah. Yeah. That's precise.
So in our earlier discussions, I think we talked about you guys also do this in Kubernetes as well.
Yeah. So we're doing it in Kubernetes, but currently we're supporting Kubernetes that runs on top of the cloud.
Okay. So, but same kind of thing, but being able to isolate it down to that container.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you also mentioned that the platform is customizable for MSPs. What does that mean?
So one of the things that were most important to us when building the platform was to really allow each MSP to take it their own way. And so you can look at it from an IP perspective, where you can take your specific knowledge and tips and tricks that you've learned over the years, all the way to just, your special ticks that you want to check. And the way we do it is we allow you access to the entire knowledge graph that we're building on the environment with our policy engine. So right now it's done with very simple JS functions that you can write in this type of like very similar to how you write serverless code. And we're even working on a copilot that will help you write them as well. But basically, you can take anything that you want to check over the environment. It could be over a specific resource, over the entire graph itself. Write the question. We're always here to help with that as well. And basically run this policy over your customers. It's going to stay only yours. And so you either create the special insights, special reports, or just, the events that matter to you.
So far we've covered, how it helps in the discovery process with finding out all of the information about the cloud infrastructure that a client might have. And obviously that helps with the management and the optimization as well. But it also, you mentioned retention. How does it help an MSP retain a client?
So, first of all, it's very important to say that I think one of the feedbacks that we heard the most was that it helps in generate engagement. And so when you're managing a customer for half a year, even three, you kind of run out of things to say. And so always tracking the environments, always finding out what's new, what's the new recommendations you can get them. Even just pinpointing this random issue that you found could be very critical to just how the customer feels being managed by you, like being proactive, being there for them. And so we're seeing that getting those insights and just tracking the changes that go on periodically, sending out this email make so much difference. And obviously the second one is that you're not always there to see all of the changes, or you're not always part of them. And so again, if by chance a new cluster is being deployed and you don't know about it, but you can pick up the phone, call them, and tell them, look, let's go back to AWS, to Azure. Let's talk about it with them. Let's get credits. It makes you this mega partner that's
Yeah.
always there for them, that understands them, that actually helps them, not just another company that charges support.
Yeah.
So it really creates this whole new engagement with the customer, and we're really seeing that the gratitude that customers are getting, finding all this new stuff around the environment. And I think that the another very interesting point is we have customers that actually use the environment as this internal portal for their customers. So they give out the graph, they give out the search engine configuration tracking. And so it's a very useful tool in many events. So again, it becomes another layer of value that once the customer gets used to using, it's integrated with your brand, with part of your offering, and getting out of this is a lot harder.
Yeah. So I think it really provides that set and forget opportunity for the MSP where they can set it up and it's consistently analyzing, but then it bubbles those things up and gives those opportunities to engage with the client as it finds things that need to be addressed. I think that's great. And I know that engagement absolutely drives retention. So, Benny, is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you want to make sure that the audience knows about Chronom AI?
So I think that for us, that the most important thing is to say that we're here to build with our customers, with the MSPs, and we're here to, like, our end goal is to help generate revenue. And so we've done a lot of work with our design partners, with our customers, and really gotten into areas that interest them. And we take each one of our customers as a design partner because no two MSPs are the same. And we really try to evolve and learn with our customers. And I think it's something that really sets us apart, as it's not just a platform that, or a tool that you just buy and, it is what it is. We really make the effort to make sure that you're winning with this tool, that your team is happy with the tool, that your customers are happy with you by using the tool, and really try to provide this whole experience around it to really make sure that we help you separate yourself as much as possible.
And I think that's a great message. Now, Benny, if somebody wants to find out more about Chronom AI, how do they do that?
So we invite you to go to our website, Chronom.ai. There's a little intercom tab there. If you have any questions, feel free, or just book a demo. We're trying to be as responsive as possible, so it usually doesn't take a lot of time. And just come out, try it for yourself. Installation is, again, it's super easy, so it takes minutes to understand what's going on here. And I think from there, it's up for you to see.
Well, Benny, thank you so much for joining me today for this vendor update and introducing yourself to the All Things MSP community.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.